Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we have a coffee request. Thank you for the coffee and thank you for the request. This one comes from Susan, and Susan says, Bernd das Brot. Guys, I'm laughing because the name Bernd, it feels like you're talking about burn. I don't know if that's the idea, but the title of this video is, Why is this bread Germany's most famous TV character? This is so interesting because the fact that Germany has a famous character that is a bread, it's just interesting and hilarious. So Bernd das Brot is a TV character from Germany. He's really famous and weird. This is a video from Feli. Hi Bertzel, thank you for joining us, guys. We're live on Twitch. Come join us as well. So this is from the channel Feli from Germany. Thank you so much for this request to Susan, and a shout out to Feli. And guys, go check out her channel. Link is in the description. And let's go straight into it.
It didn't seem like it was for adults, but it didn't seem like it was for kids either.
I'm thinking like, what am I watching and what was in my beer? I have no idea what I'm looking at.
We need to talk about Germany's most famous TV personality, Bernd das Brot.
Bernd das Brot.
And welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living...
Sorry, I've been saying her name wrong. Her name is Feli.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. In the last year, I've taken 2 groups of Americans on a trip to Germany.
You're telling me her American accent comes from 9 years of living in America? That's so awesome. I mean, she sounds pure American. Anybody know any idea on how she got her accent?
On and off since 2016. In the last year, I've taken 2 groups of Americans on a trip to Germany, and both times I had people come up to me in the morning and ask about this weird German TV program.
A group of us went out one night to dinner, came back to the hotel after, turned on the TV, and there's this thing just kind of floating around the television. He's wearing like an astronaut's outfit, floating in outer space, getting hit by an occasional asteroid or whatever, saying mist or shucks or whatnot. Seems like he's in pretty bad mood. After watching this easily for like 15 minutes, I'm thinking like, what am I watching and what was in my beer? I have no idea what I'm looking at.
My wife and I were thinking, okay, let's go ahead and turn on the TV and it'll be fun to just kind of check out a little bit of local, German.
It will be fun, they said. Let's watch TV, they said. It won't traumatize you for life, they said.
TV and see what's going on. We start flipping through and immediately come across this puppet, this monstrous kind of ugly puppet it takes us just a second, but we realize, well, I mean, he's an astronaut, right? But it did say Astrobrot on the uniform, so we kind of, all right, that's what we suspected. It is indeed a loaf of bread, but he's got the bags under the eyes and it's kind of depressing, deep voice. Hello. And he's just mostly floating in space.
This is traumatizing.
We just became fascinated and confused, and we were, what is this? What's going on?
Is this a kids horror TV show? Kind of, because we used to have those back in the day, like, well, Scooby-Doo. I don't know if I would I consider it horror, but Courage the Cowardly Dog kind of does have that. Or was it just a crazy idea that they came up with? Just have bread as a puppet. It looks very eerie. But also, you guys have Moomin, right? The Nordics, rather, have Moomin. But it's also famous in Germany, right? Which kind of has some horror parts. It's not really horror, it's just depression. What? It has no interest to be in the TV loaf of bread that are on the kids' channel when it's nighttime. What? So it's a depressed loaf of bread? Who came up with this concept?
And kind of most importantly to us was, who is this for?
Exactly.
Because it didn't seem like it was for adults, but it didn't seem like it was for kids either.
And this topic even made it to social media recently when this creator called Chris, who's an American living in Germany, asked for explanations.
Can the people of Germany explain to me what this is? What is this block of bread that looks like it no longer wants to exist on this planet?
Well, sounds like Bernd might benefit from therapy. And since he doesn't really like to go outside or do anything really, the great news is that with today's sponsor, BetterHelp, he can try therapy from the comfort of his bread box or, you know, his bed or couch. But no, for real, therapy is such a helpful tool to better understand yourself and your mental health, which is something that we just don't learn enough about in school or in our society in general, even though in my opinion, it's just as important as physical health. So going to therapy is self-care. It's a sign of strength and personal growth. I myself tried therapy in 2020 during the pandemic with BetterHelp actually, and it was such a safe space to talk. There's no judgments, and since the therapists are experts, they can provide guidance, new perspectives, but also helpful techniques and exercises to manage emotions and navigate the difficult situations you find yourself in. Unfortunately, getting a therapy spot and finding a good therapist that seems like the right fit for you can take a pretty long time here in the US, which is why I love that BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. It's all online, so you can do it right on your phone or your computer. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire about your current situation, and you'll be matched with a therapist within just a couple days. If they're not quite the right fit yet, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional cost until you find the right match. Then you can either just message with them on the app or schedule a phone or video call session. That's what I always did. And the platform also offers daily group therapy sessions that you can join and a journal for self-reflection. BetterHelp has over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, and the customer service team is always there for you whenever you need help, so you'll be in great hands. If you're currently struggling too and think you'd benefit from a therapy session, just click the link in the description below or go to betterhelp.com/Feli and get 10% off your first month of therapy. So in the name of the...
So I didn't want to completely skip it because, you know, people out there need this therapy help, but also to support her, you know. She's doing a good job, guys. Go check out her thing, her sting here. Okay, let's go.
Feli and get 10% off your first month of therapy. So in the name of the people of Germany, let's get to the bottom of this. What is this weird bread that floats across German TV screens at night? And why does everyone in Germany, whether you're a kid or an adult, know about him? To answer this, we have to go all the way back to the year 2000 when the German kids TV channel Kika, well actually at the time it was called Kinderkanal, came up with the idea for a new TV character, and it was a loaf of bread with a face on it. And his name was Bernd das Brot. Bernd the
Yes,
bread,
I would
together
love
with
this.
Chili
You'd
das
laugh at
Schaf,
this.
an adrenaline junkie sheep, and Riegel der Busch, a mad scientist bush who gets embarrassed easily. He starred in a show called Tolle Sachen, Great Things, with the subheading Die einzige Werbesendung im Kika, the only commercial show on Kika. For context, Kika is part of the public broadcasting system in Germany, which means that it doesn't show any commercials or do any type of product placement. Except for this one. But of course, they didn't actually advertise products on the show. They just took the setting of a teleshopping show to present all of Briegel's crazy inventions. Chili was supposed to be the host of the show, but she usually showed up late and got distracted with all of her crazy stunts.
Nice visual effects.
While Bernd was the product tester who was supposed to demonstrate all of the products. Well, technically, they drew a random name every episode, but it just so happened that it said Bernd every single time.
Unser heutiger Testkandidat heißt Bernd das Brot.
Now, what makes Bernd so unique is that he's very...
Okay, I get it. So it's kind of like a is it called Sesame Street? It's been a while since I haven't heard that. But it's a puppet show, and he is the kind of like the victim, and people kind of relate to him. So he's always being the test subject, and that's what causes his depression. He's tired of this life. Okay, I think I already get it. That's why people are so drawn to him. I see. Because sometimes we're all just tired of our jobs, and we're just tired to be like the butt of the joke. I see. Interesting.
Heißt Bernd das Brot.
Now, what makes Bernd so unique is that he's very open about how much he hates being a part of the show.
Schön habt ihr's hier. Natürlich nicht. Ich will nach Hause. Ich bin dagegen. Und ich dachte schon, schlimmer kann es nicht mehr werden. Falsch gedacht.
This makes so much sense.
Hui. Ich bin wirklich ein Glückspilz, was? Was auch immer es ist, macht es ohne mich. Da gefällt mir mal was und dann wird es von einem UFO weggebeamt. Mir gefällt nie wieder was.
And of course, his most famous tagline is
Mist.
which translates to something like crap or shoot. And when Briegel and Chili end the show with
Also dann, liebe Zuschauer, bis zum nächsten Mal.
he responds
Mist.
with
Hoffentlich nicht.
I hope not.
He also regularly runs into issues because his hands are directly attached to his body, well, his loaf. So he always says things like,
Außerdem habe ich viel zu kurze Arme. Meine Arme sind zu kurz, meine Arme sind zu kurz, meine Arme sind zu kurz. Ich habe zu kurze Arme. Habt ihr es jetzt verstanden?
it's Oktoberfest season, by the way. Oktoberfest Munich started yesterday when this video comes out. And for that occasion, we decided to do a 16-day Oktoberfest sale for 16 days of Oktoberfest on my shop, FeliFromGermany.com. That
Dang,
includes
she
60% off
is
on beer mugs. These are the real authentic
profiting.
Bavarian beer mugs, 1 liter, but also have half liters. This is what you'll get at Oktoberfest itself and in beer gardens. But the discount is also on bottle openers, coasters, Oktoberfest apparel, everything you can think of. So go check it out on FeliFromGermany.com and Prost. After Tolle Sachen, the trio also had a show called Chili from Germany.com and Prost. After Tolle Sachen, the trio also had a show called Chili TV, which was kind of like a reality TV show that
Should I
showed
start-
Chili, Briegel, and Bernd in
Should I start using the word mist? Mist.
Chili TV, which was kind of like a reality TV show that showed Chili, Briegel, and Bernd in their personal lives. The show also included a lot of parody episodes of Star Trek or Harry Potter, Western movies, or classic fairy tales. Then there was a sketch comedy show called Bravo Bernd, a whole movie series with parodies called Bernd Event, one show that was simply called Bernd das Brot, where Briegel, Chili, and Bernd moved into a house together. There was Bernd and Friends featuring different German
He got
celebrities.
famous.
A show called Bernd Channel about him running his own YouTube channel. And then,
Wow.
of course, the most famous one, the nighttime loops. Now, for this, it's important to know that the regular programming of Kika only runs from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Up until 2003,
Okay.
it actually ended as early as 7 p.m. So at night, depending on whether you received the channel through satellite, cable, or digitally, you'd either just see a text screen like this until 6 a.m. or on cable, I remember when I was a kid, it would always switch to the French-German culture channel Arte. But at some point,
I also never understood that. Is that a financial decision or what makes TV stations stop their broadcast? Is it because they don't have enough content to produce? Is it a law thing, like a government thing? I don't know. I always questioned, why do they stop the programs at a specific time? They're not broadcasting anything for children at the time because the children have to sleep. Is that it? No, but in general, some TVs are not 24 hours.
they started showing these loops of Bernd das Brot all night, and they actually started to produce them specifically for this purpose. So over the years, there was one called Bernd in Hell. Hell means bright in German, but I would assume that this was also a wordplay with the English word hell, because in this one, he's stuck in this all-white studio, and every time he tries to leave, he just finds himself coming back in on the other side of the frame. Then there was one called Kika Lounge, one called
This isn't a great this isn't a great screen for you to sleep. Like literally everybody who watches videos at night or TV at night and you have a bright white screen like this, you guys know how it's not ideal. If it was a black screen, it would be nice and cozy. So I think this is also something that, imagine you fall asleep watching television, and then in the middle of the night this comes on, this bright white screen with a loaf of bread running around. You'd think you died in your sleep. Literally, you think it's a nightmare.
Back in
You would
on
be
the
so
other side of the
confused.
frame. Then there was one called Kika Lounge, one called Casting Shows, one with a call-in theme, one with a social media theme, one that was just called Nerds, one about history,
Nerds.
one where he sings his own song. We'll talk more about that in a second. And the newest one is Astrobrot from 2020, where he goes through astronaut training and for once actually kind of likes the idea because
Das ist doch vielleicht gar nicht so schlecht. Im All bin ich tatsächlich ganz weit weg und da oben ist es angeblich ganz schön ruhig.
then he just floats through space, has all kinds of interesting encounters, and eventually ends up on the ISS, before he lands back in the studio.
Hat es dir im All gefallen?
Es war toll. Bis auf die Anreise, den Aufenthalt, die Abreise und die ganze Zeit dazwischen. Die war die Hölle.
Of course, throughout all of these shows, the
journey
general
was
theme
bad.
continues. Bernd hates everything the channel makes him do. Almost everything he says is full of sarcasm and cynicism, and all in all, he's pretty much the epitome of a grump. Maybe that's why he's so popular among Germans and has long outgrown the role of being just a TV character for children and has become kind of a cultural treasure in Germany. We would say he's reached Kultstatus, cult status. Like he's an icon. And I mean, he's a depressed loaf of bread. That's literally the perfect representation of German culture, because we're obviously known for our bread in Germany, and you can't deny that we're also pretty good at complaining and being pessimistic and grumpy. Plus, Bernd is a very stereotypical German name. So to answer Devin's question from earlier about who the target audience is here,
I think it's even funnier in English because she's saying Bernd. I don't know, and I don't think Germans realize that a lot of Americans would say burned. And that's even funnier because burnt bread, you know, and he is he's angry and depressed maybe because he's burnt. Dang, that's something maybe Germans didn't consider because of the pronunciation. Burnt bread.
typical German name. So to answer Devin's question from earlier about who the target audience is here, Bernd das Brot was without a doubt created for kids on a kids TV channel, but I would argue that the reason he became so famous and is so successful is mainly because of his appeal to adults with all of his snarky comments. Kind of similar to the show SpongeBob SquarePants. And hey, he actually has a lot in common with Squidward. All right, let's get back to Chris's video.
I mean, I don't think is SpongeBob famous between adults? I don't know. Is it? I mean, I always thought SpongeBob was like a kids show. I never thought it was kind of like relatable to adults. Like right now, I don't feel like it's relatable to me, SpongeBob. I don't know. I just think it's a funny kids show. But Squidward, he is quite grumpy, and the more you grow older, the more you understand him.
Pants. And hey, he actually has a lot in common with Squidward. All right, let's get back to Chris's video and see how the internet responded.
Can the people of Germany explain to me what this is? Because if you don't live in Germany, you are not going to understand what this is. And I clearly don't get it because I'm an American. What is this block of bread that looks like it no longer wants to exist on this planet? Like, I managed to go down a rabbit hole, and apparently German people at one point in time lived for this thing with pimples on his body. Like, it went as far as people were making memes. Here's an example where America has SpongeBob and Japan has Dragon Ball Z, and Germany said the best I can do is a depressed bread. There was even one point in time where the bread ended up in space. And I may not be understanding German humor, but like at one point in time, people were living for this depressed piece of bread. Like, it looks like it hasn't got sleep ever in its life. The more I look at the memes, the funnier it gets. But literally, what is that?
Some of these comments are absolutely hilarious. Someone saying a depressed bread, an analogy to the German soul. Bernd das Brot was on television at night on the children's channel. So if you sleep while watching kids TV, you wake up to a depressive bread that hates the world. It's wonderful. I love this.
Exactly, that's what I was
Bernd
thinking.
has never gotten a night's sleep. He's being tortured nightly on Kika. That's actually true. I never thought about that. He's German UNESCO Weltkulturerbe, like World Heritage. It's a depressed loaf of bread that yells at us to go to bed. That is something that he does too sometimes.
Schaltet ab, schaltet ab, schaltet ab, 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 ab.
Bernd das Brot is a national treasure. That's kind of what
How would you turn off when it's so entertaining? You literally wouldn't want to turn it off. But then again, it's in a loop, so it gets repetitive and sometimes tiring. So yeah, I think so. But I feel like the first few minutes of watching it, you're so entertained, you don't want to turn off the TV. But it fits his personality so well because he doesn't like to be on that show, and he doesn't like to be on television, and he doesn't like his job. So he would absolutely advocate for you to turn off the TV, stop watching. You know, it just fits his personality so well.
Bernd das Brot is a national treasure. That's kind of what I said too. Bro, I was in a German hotel and left the TV on when I went to sleep and woke up at 2 in the morning to see this German treasure grace my screen wearing a spacesuit. That sounds exactly like what Greg and Devin experienced. In 2004, Bernd even won the Adolf Grimme Prize.
So I've been to Berlin. I wish I had left the TV on. Oh man, I wish I had that experience. It would have been so confusing. I would wake up in the middle of the night like, what is this? It would be so funny.
And Devin experienced. In 2004, Bernd even won the Adolf Grimme Prize, which is kind of like the German Emmy, with the explanation that he represents, quote, das Recht auf schlechte Laune, the right to being in a bad mood, and that he acts as a counterpart to, quote, dem gute Laune Terror, der unaufhörlich aus dem Fernseher dröhnt und quillt, which translates to something like the reign of good mood that endlessly drones out of the television. The news outlet Deutsche Welle,
he is the epitome of a reasonable crash out. Imagine living your life as a tester. Like every day you have to test something and do something, and people are just pushing you. Nobody wants to do the job. They're just pushing you. And they're rigging the voting system also, because every time his name comes out,
good mood that endlessly drones out of the television. The news outlet Deutsche Welle, DW, commented that most likely the jury realized just how subversive Bernd das Brot's attitude is when many human beings these days are willing to do almost anything to achieve fame and fortune on TV. I also love how the German Wikipedia article notes that Tommy Krabweis, the creator of Bernd das Brot, accepted the award on Bernd's behalf because Bernd wasn't interested. As I mentioned earlier,
so
Bernd
cool.
also became a musician at some point, and his song Tanz das Brot, Dance the Bread, even comes with its own dance.
Please let
and
it be
I personally
German
believe that
rock,
if this was published
heavy
today,
metal.
this would totally become a viral TikTok dance.
Alle zusammen tanzt das Brot.
Ah, it's a jazz. Nah, guys.
Alle im selben Boot.
The way to do it, you do a Rammstein style, because he does have that deep vocals, and you put some heavy power, well, not power metal, but heavy metal. That's the way you do it. He has to do some kind of like Rammstein level. That would definitely blow up. If anybody in the marketing team is watching, this show still exists, right? I guess this is still an ongoing show. You need to try that. You need to do that. That would definitely revive it.
A viral TikTok dance.
Alle zusammen tanzt das Brot. Wir sitzen doch
Everyone
alle
with
im
the short
selben
hands.
Boot.
The jazz hands. Missed opportunity there.
So kurz das Lied beknackt. Ein Elend im Viervierteltakt.
Bernd has so much power in Germany that in 2009, a 2-meter tall statue of him was kidnapped by a group of activists that had been occupying an abandoned factory in Erfurt, the same city where the TV channel Kika has its headquarters. The factory used to belong to the company Topf und Söhne, which during World War II manufactured
Did they just
ovens
steal a
and
statue
gas
of a
chamber
bread?
ventilation systems for Auschwitz in that very building. So due to its historical and educational value, the activists wanted to prevent the building from being demolished or repurposed and use Bernd das Brot to gain more attention. Well, allegedly, because they never actually admitted to being responsible for the kidnapping. But no need to worry, the statue was found a few weeks later and it is now back up in front of Erfurt's City Hall. So Bernd truly has been through a lot over the years. By the way, in case you were wondering why he's so depressed,
This is so crazy that he has even been kidnapped. That's so crazy. They should do a show about his kidnapping. I don't know if they did, but I feel like there's a marketing opportunity in every single incident. They should make a show of how or what he experienced during this kidnapping. You know, make an episode on that. That would be so interesting. But I guess the time has passed, maybe, you know. But these are really good pitches right here.
been through a lot over the years. By the way, in case you were wondering why he's so depressed, in an early episode of Tolle Sachen, he actually hinted at the fact that a broken heart might be the root of it all.
Vor langer, langer Zeit habe ich mich in ein wunderschönes, schlankes
The
Baguette
French.
verliebt. Sie war so
French women.
unglaublich charmant und witzig. Aber leider war es vergeblich. Sie hatte nur Augen für dieses dahergelaufene Meerkornbrot
Multigrain
mit
bread.
seinen 10 Getreidesorten. Es war so
I mean, people do prefer that bread.
deprimierend.
In 2006, the American author Jeremy Wasser wrote in the German news outlet Spiegel Online, "Oh, I was starting to get it. Bernd epitomized the fundamental pessimism felt by many, if not most, Germans about, well, almost everything. It's a pessimism my German friends acknowledge and to some extent revel in. I won't say enjoy, though I'm not too sure about this. As an American, my relentless optimism about everything disturbs and distresses my circle of German friends, although they're usually too polite to say so. The German
Wait, are Germans pessimistic? Do you guys have that fame or that stereotype of being pessimistic, or are you guys actually pessimistic? I think there is a big difference between optimism, pessimism, and realism. I would guess that Germans are realistic and they are misconstrued as pessimistic, because being realistic is looking at the facts and just knowing and acknowledging this is going to happen this way and that's going to, you use your logic. Pessimistic is when you look at the facts and you still think it's not going to work. Like, for example, Germany has won 4 World Cups. Let's talk about football. The last 2 World Cups weren't too good for them. And now they're in the World Cup again. So, are you guys optimistic that you guys will go to the next stage or even win the whole World Cup? Are you realistic, looking at the facts, saying, you know, we have a good team and we have a good strategy, so I think we're going to do well. Maybe we're not going to win, but we're going to go, like, based on facts? Or are you pessimistic, saying the last 2 World Cups were bad, then, you know, I don't think this one is going to be good at all, despite the team being better? Where do you guys stand? Optimistic? Oh yeah, we're going to win the whole World Cup. Realistic, looking at facts? Or pessimistic, saying, yeah, we're not going to do anything, despite having 4 World Cup wins? You know, I feel like Brazil is always optimistic. Every World Cup, Brazil thinks they're going to win. And it's because they're optimistic. Even though the team doesn't look very good, they're like, we're still going to win. We're still going to win, because they're optimistic. So let me know your level of, just so I understand if you guys are actually optimistic or pessimistic or just simply realistic. I don't know.
This would take to a character like Bernd and be willing to engage in this form of self-analysis and self-mockery should, in my view, be commended. That the people of the land of Goethe and Schiller would choose as their guide in this spiritual
Goethe and
exploration
Schiller?
a
What is that?
clinically depressed loaf of bread is perhaps just another improbable element of the German zeitgeist. And I think that was true then and still is today, almost 20 years later. Here's to the ultimate German hero, Bernd das Brot.
Mist.
Bernd das Mist. Oh, I love that they ended with mist. I should start using that. If it's not a swear word, you know, then I should start using mist every time something happens. So, that was pretty interesting. What a fun little fact from Germany. Bernd das Brot. That's so cool that you guys have such a fun character. And I feel like a lot of people relate even more now, because we get tired of our jobs, don't we? Maybe like even me, you know, maybe I don't get tired of making the videos. You know, the videos are always the fun part of my job, but there are elements of my job, you know, the copyright, the scheduling, like the behind the scenes, those really get to me sometimes. Or, you know, the hateful comments and stuff like that. Those, it doesn't really get to me, but those are exhausting. So I feel like I can still relate to him at some point, but I do remember when I used to work outside, you know, when I used to work corporate, I remember how it was. And sometimes we hate our jobs, sometimes, because we also love it's a love hate, but sometimes we hate our jobs. And I feel like he has that essence where he's always complaining about his job. He's always complaining about, you know, having to do this and that. And, you know, he's always the butt of the butt of the joke. And I feel like that's something that a lot of adults can relate to, because he's there just doing his job and he's not liking it, but he's there. He has to commit. So I like that idea. That's a nice, relatable character. We are boring to hang out with. Ooh, I don't get the joke, but don't know. Guys, I got distracted by that. Sorry. But I guess you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Everybody can relate to him, even children, because he's in a kids show, to adults. He's kind of like the grumpy grandpa who's tired and just wants to retire. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Go check out Feli's channel. Come join us over here on Twitch. And if you want to watch reactions to full movies, series, shows, concerts, go over to Buy Me a Coffee or to Patreon. Link is in the description. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.